This is strictly football. This has zero to do with how tall you are, how much you agree. This has nothing to do with the combine. This has everything to do with just the tape. How fast? This is literally just the tape.
In there, Turner Cochran's an extra with Lindemeyer on the right side. They'll keep it on the ground. Emmett Johnson into a pile of Michigan Wolverines, and he's short of the first down. From the Michigan 37. Raiola sidearms it complete. Johnson got about 8 before he's run out of bounds. Second down and 2. They'll give him a carry. No, that's Johnson. Johnson got maybe 1.
Key for his football team this year, and they came away with nothing.
Now it's an I backfield with a fullback in there, and this is a first down run. Move the sticks for Johnson.
Well, that'll make that Nebraska 95 team that's here to celebrate. Enjoy that play. That is Nebraska football from 1995 right there. I formation, ISO, kick it out with the offside guard. That's
Tom Osborne
to the outside.
That's a tough yard or so for Emmett Johnson. Raiola, screen pass, Johnson. Whoa, what a wicked move that was. And he got about 7 or 8 out of it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with this right here. When you talk to Dana Holgerson, he said, yeah, this Michigan defensive tackles, they're strong and tough, but they're not twitchy like those 2 guys they had before.
Second down and 2 with a minute to go in the quarter. Johnson on the ground. He's got the first down. To throw a nice smooth pass without the pressure he's faced so far. They'll keep it on the ground. Emmett Johnson spins his way into Michigan territory. About a 4-yard gain. Portal. He and Raiola roommates, and they hook up there for 21 yards and a first down. Emmett Johnson, maybe 3 on the carry.
The most, and he said Mahomes' feet. He's a pure passer, but when he gets out, he's dangerous.
Well, he certainly had his Mahomes-type moments. So the first down toss, and they are in Michigan territory at the 48-yard line. Now it's Emmett Johnson. And Emmett, nice run. Raiola under center at the 28-yard line. And Johnson got about a yard. And a scary part for every quarterback. 2nd and 9, Johnson. And he's going to be dragged down after a short gain, maybe no gain. Trey Williams back. 4th sack by Michigan in the half. Brings up 2nd down and 19. Looking for a little quick opener for Emmett Johnson. It doesn't open much. Lindemeyer, the tight end, in motion. 3 wide receivers for Raiola. And they'll keep it on the ground. Emmett Johnson broke 1 tackle and 2, but not the rest zone as the deep set tailback behind Dylan Raiola. He'll get the carry. And got it out to around the 6.
A good block last time. They ran right at him.
2nd and 7. Try the same play. Not the same result, although Johnson's fighting for a yard or 2 third quarter. Emmett Johnson, no gain on that one. And that forces 3rd down and 16 again. 4-man rush. Raiola loads and comes short across the middle and incomplete. And they're looking for a flag as Jair Hill was draped all over Emmett Johnson, but no penalty mark.
So sometimes as a pass rusher, you can help coverage by forcing a back to chip on you before you go out. That means you only have 4 receivers out there. Actually only 3 because there were chip on both sides. Lindemeyer and the running back both had to chip. So no one's really open in the secondary. That's what that pass rush is accomplished, of going forward.
Raiola under center on 2nd and 1. He's going to throw for it. He's going to flare it out to Johnson. Johnson's got the first down at the 30 before Michigan's defense can bring him down. Now at Buford. 2nd and 5. Johnson, nice cutback.
Oh,
Wow, he did that in a hurry.
got a late flag, though, against Nebraska.
There's no foul for a chop block. The block started high.
Good call, Gare.
And that's what they were looking at. Let's see how it goes on this side, the left side of the screen. It's right in this area right here. Yeah, I think that's a good call. Started out on the shoulders and he slipped down.
And finished the fight off in the next 14 minutes. Johnson hit, and it's Barham again causing havoc off the edge. Emmett Johnson, the running back, in on the right side. He looks that way, throws the slant to him, and picks up about 5 yards on that one. Snap. Dillon has time this time. Does come back short, though, and Johnson made the catch and got the first down, but stumbled and picked up just 5.
2nd down and 3. Staying ahead schedule feels paramount in this game against the USC defense that's racked up the sacks, and that's going to help with a run right up the middle. Emmett Johnson picks up the first down.
The thing about this guy now, watch him all night. He has the ability to cut and make people miss in short spaces. He just has great vision and jump cut ability. Now that play was blocked well at the point of attack.
The Wildcats, they love his leadership and would love to see him get a little bit more in terms of the football in his hands. Johnson up the middle. He breaks so many tackles. Came in with 44 missed tackles on runs this year. Just discarded a couple defenders and makes it 3rd and short.
And again, his ability to make guys miss, following the fullback with the lead block. Nice job in there by Lindenmeyer, number 44. Both runs so far inside between the tackles.
We already saw a pickup with Johnson on the ground. We'll see if they go back to him here. And they will. Up the middle. Johnson keeps fighting, and he'll move the chains.
When they lost to Minnesota a couple weeks ago, he only had 14 carries. Dylan Raiola was sacked 9 times in that game. Dana Holgerson said, we're going to change against Northwestern, a physical defense.
They had 4 third down and mostly long conversions against the stout Northwestern defense. As Johnson slips a tackle, tries to get to the outside, spins away from another. That's about as tough and impressive a 2 or 3 yard run as you're going to see from a running back against the USC defense.
An idea of what USC was in defensively, and then check the play.
Johnson got it again. They just cannot stop him on these 3rd and shorts. This one picks up 8.
Well, we talked about the new right tackle. Watch Corcoran right here get a nice kick out block. They bring Lindenmeyer. They show action going the other way, and they block it beautifully on the right side. And again, that running and that toughness of Emmett Johnson.
Receiver, 525 yards and 5 touchdowns coming into this game. 2nd down and 10. Another handoff. This time they're ready, and they swarm on Johnson for a gain of maybe a yard. And for Nebraska to keep this early momentum on their side. Emmett Johnson with the jump cut gets back to the 40, just past. It'll be a gain of 1. Down to this level. Credit to the Nebraska defense for the way they've showed up early, and now the offense looking to pay it off again. But once again, it's Johnson bottled up, and it'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, this is back-to-back excellent plays by the USC defense. Again, watch Desmond Stevens come downhill, and then that front 4 just kind of fighting off blocks. Stevens is there for the tackle, but it's gang tackling, recognizing the ability of Emmett Johnson to cut and make people miss. A minute ago, did a much better job on him on early downs.
So far, 11 runs, 7 passes for this Nebraska offense, and that number's going to keep going up if Emmett Johnson keeps churning them out. 14-yard pickup to move the sticks.
A really nice job blocking by the wide receiver and the tight end. Watch Lindenmeyer come over and get a block, and then you're going to see Isaiah Hunter, number 13, come into the picture. He gets a big block as well, and a lot of open space for Emmett Johnson on that play.
How cool was it yesterday, Matt Rules? Just so effective, especially on 3rd down on that first drive. Can they find that same efficiency? This was the problem on the previous drive. USC's defense ready for that early down running in the Big Ten in sacks behind just Indiana and Minnesota entering the week. This is where they try to bring it home, but it's going to be a run. And it's going to be Johnson with a stutter step move to the outside. Gets dragged down by Desmond Stevens.
This is really well played by Desmond Stevens. This is man coverage, so he's actually going to be responsible for the back. But watch him just kind of follow and break down and still make the tackle. We talked about how good Emmett Johnson is in space, making somebody miss. But that's just excellent work by Desmond Stevens, breaking down, keeping him in his sights, and then getting him on the ground.
Made the trip here to Lincoln, braving the elements with their costumes. First down, set up the screen. Emmett Johnson weaves to the outside. Stutter step move and then gets thrown forward for an extra 2 yards. A 14-yard pickup on the catch and run.
Yeah, and a nice play call by Dana Holgerson. Get some rhythm back to your offense. Get the ball out of your quarterback's hands and get it to a dangerous guy in space. Again, coming into the game, Emmett Johnson, not just with rushing yards, but 31 catches. Both of these.
First down from the 39. Johnson up the middle. And 3 tough yards. Ball came out. Or did it? It is going to be a 3-yard pickup regardless. Dana Holgerson said he thought that this was their best tight end last year. He's proven it now this year. Patience from Johnson, trying to bounce it, and then a flag comes in as he gets wrapped up by Kamari Ramsey.
The left tackle,
holding
Lutowski.
Offense number 59. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Saying that's what he went for at Halloween.
And had some crazy glasses on too, right?
Oh, they look good though. Handoff on 1st and 20.
Right away, right now, they get the pass interference.
And it's 1st and goal just inside the 10. It's Johnson up the middle. Johnson still on his feet for the touchdown. Too much EJ for the TD. 10-yard scamper.
Blocking. First of all, watch the guard in the center, but then also watch this receiver and this receiver block downfield. Excellent blocking at the point of attack by Lutowski, the guard, in the center, Justin Evans, and then 2 receivers blocking downfield. That's what springs Johnson into the end zone for the touchdown.
Team and the continued growth of his program. So this drive will start from the 18-yard line. Handoff. Johnson pushing the pile. Johnson turns what should have been a 2-yard gain into a 9-yard pickup.
Well done on that play.
So 4 seconds, and it's a 2nd down and 10. This has been the good idea so far. Just hand it to number 21 and let him do the dirty work. Picks up 8 more on the ground.
He does a nice job just showing patience and allowing a block to get to Desmond Stevens. Watch now. He's just going to kind of hesitate in here and allow a block to get on that linebacker. Right there. Boom. Does a nice job waiting for his guard.
That air raid tree. Spent time with Mike Leach as well. Opposite of Lincoln Riley here tonight. Another handoff. Johnson could not get there. He gets denied by Lucas and Tompkins. The first 40% of the season. So this drive will start from the 34-yard line. And Emmett Johnson goes for 8 more. Did LA Chargers before SoFi Stadium came to fruition. Up the middle, plunging forward. Johnson has the 1st down.
Yeah, in a great position on 3rd and short. You can run or pass. They get a good surge. Watch the pressure right in here. Bring the linebacker or the tight end across. Lead both tight ends in there. And an easy conversion now, 5 of 8 on 3rd down for Nebraska's offense.
The season, 254 yards and a touchdown. Played in weeks 2 and 3 against Akron and Houston Christian. They'll run it on 1st down, and Lucas again makes a tackle.
Teddy Prohaska and Gunnar Gatula both out of this ball game.
Prohaska out for the year with another knee injury, and yet they've still run it this effectively without them. Another 1st down carry, and then a scuffle after the fact. 16 yards on the ground and 4.3 yards per rush. Get the play off in time here on a 3rd down and 3. It's a screen pass. Johnson makes the catch, stays on his feet. And that extra hesitation after he had to make the adjustment to make the grab allowed for USC to get back and force a 4th down.
Passing situations in a game like this.
Johnson on first down. Emmett Johnson's the back. Emmett Johnson has the carry. Could not slip through that hole, and he'll gain a yard and a half.
On the line of scrimmage, daring the guy to throw the football.
Emmett Johnson. Big hole. Johnson to the outside. Emmett Johnson pushed the pile. Bishop Fitzgerald caught some pain at the end. Johnson picks up 23.
Well, watch the block by Lindenmeyer, 14, and Isaiah Hunter, 13. Watch as this play unfolds. Here comes Lindenmeyer. Block on Jaden Walker. There's Isaiah Hunter with the block. If you're Nebraska.
3rd and 17. They'll run it with Emmett Johnson. Make a man miss. And Johnson will keep the legs churning just across the 21-yard line. Devin Tompkins held on for dear life. When you've got a lot of 22-year-olds and trying to be that guy that is setting an example, being a vocal guy. This guy's just doing a little bit of everything physically right now. Emmett Johnson with another tough run to pick up 14 yards on first down. But Dylan felt that year has helped him in his leadership, and now Latif is going to have to take that and run with it.
Again, you see the vision, right? He just is patient. He sees grass. He sees somebody out of position defensively that misses a gap or misfits it, and he makes you pay.
They have 90 yards of offense since Raiola went out. Again, if you're joining us now, Dylan Raiola out with an ankle injury. Emmett Johnson, a couple of jump cuts, and then keeps the legs rolling as Desmond Stevens had to get in front. He'll gain 4 on first down. And they're only on the 18-yard line. It's Johnson across the 20 and then gets wrestled down at the 23. Johnson next to Latif. Lindenmeyer in motion. Johnson slipped and he's short.
He tripped and fell down short of the mark. I think he might have tripped over the quarterback, Latif, on his way to the line of scrimmage. He gets the handoff and he stumbles right away. And he comes up short. He's had a brilliant night running the football, but he was denied on that play. 29 carries, 165 yards, but not enough to keep this game and this drive going for the Huskers. Yep, definitely got tangled up with Latif.
It was Emmett Johnson who was the absolute star in that one. And he's going to get it on first down. Johnson showing off the swift feet for a gain of 4 as he runs into denied Dennis Sutton.
Different quarterback in also on this play. Clay Harburg.
It is. He gives Johnson, finds the hole. Look at the speed. Emmett Johnson explodes into the secondary. Finally tracked down by Dejon Lane. EJ nearly took it all the way.
Well, they run this weak side, even though they overload the right side. Look, 2 tight ends and extra offensive linemen over here, but they're going to run it weak. The vision of Emmett Johnson, outstanding. Guys staying on their blocks. Good block outside by Hunter, the wide receiver. And that's the block that needed it to spring it for a big game. Isaiah Hunter is an excellent blocker on the perimeter into the red zone.
52 yards all the way down to the 11-yard line. Right back to him. Johnson makes a cut, stays on his feet, and forces almost as many missed tackles as anybody in the country.
I talked to Greg Gattuso, one of the assistant coaches who I played with. He's a defensive line coach at Penn State. He said, this guy scares me more than any back that we've faced all year, because if you get out of a gap or peek in the wrong gap a little bit, this guy sees it and he'll make you pay for it. He has excellent vision and cutting ability in the hole.
Touchdowns in the last 3 games, and he's looking for more here. On 2nd and 7, Johnson weaving his way through, keeping the legs moving all the way down towards the 3.
13 personnel here. That means 3 tight ends. You got 2 on the right side. You got 1 on the left side. Just power football. They really like their tight end, Lindenmeyer, number 44. He's kind of their key guy. And now on this 3rd down and goal play, bringing in an extra offensive lineman. He used to be a quarterback. He can be a running threat as well.
3rd and 2. Johnson, this entire drive, pushing, and let's see where they mark him down. Initial spot looks short.
Has 99 yards to go against your defense.
They clock down at 2. They will go. It is Johnson, and he's stopped! Zane Durant led the charge to stop the Huskers. Johnson had it the entire drive, but Durant says no early in State College. Todd saying, Terry, I don't care. The play was too cruel this time. His drive will start from the 25. Emmett Johnson slips one tackle, not the second. He gets upended in the backfield from this Penn State defense.
And he has played wonderfully the last 2 weeks. Impact player around the ball.
Empty set. Lateef batted down at the line. What his emotions would be like for senior night. He said it's going to feel like the first time I stepped on the field. The butterflies will be there. He's not playing like it though. Trying to finish this season strong. He's been a great leader, unselfish when you talk to anybody within the building. Another quick throw, quick catch. That's Emmett Johnson, and that's what makes him so unique. Talk to Matt Rule. It's not just that he's a great runner, it's that he could be the first progression in the passing game. On 2nd and 9, Lateef sets up the screen. Johnson couldn't get away. Tripped up by Amari Campbell.
You know, Amari Campbell is playing lights out right now. Here he is right here. Now this is man coverage. So he's responsible for the back. See him tracking him and following him. They tried to get a block on the receiver with him. And he got away from that block. And he's here to make the tackle for a very short gain.
Lateef feeling it. Johnson catching it. Johnson gets away from the first. But then he is swarmed.
Watch number 36. Close to being offsides. Watch how quickly he jumps off the football. Gets right into the face of Lateef. He's got to get rid of that ball quickly. And again, the difference between being 3rd and 7 or 8 and 3rd or 14 or 15, a play like that just comes up short.
So Johnson made an effort with his 3rd catch. But his last 2 have gone for 0 yards. Johnson makes his way off the field. So TJ Lateef and company will start from the 40 after the return from Barney. And Johnson gets gobbled up after 2. Nebraska inside the 15, well inside the red zone. And it's Emmett Johnson with a jump cut and another for 2 more.
Known commodities, which was that offensive line and the 2 great running backs, and just really starting with that. They wanted to work on their passing game. Things kind of went sideways on it.
Nebraska could really use some points in some facet to finish this first half as Johnson makes the catch short of the first down. It's 3rd and 1 from the 35, and Matt Rule's going to take his first time out. 3rd and 9 have gone for 18. 3rd and 1. Hand it. Johnson, plenty for the first down as he gets lifted off the ground just around the 40.
Some great battles between Tom Osborne and Joe Paterno teams in those years.
Quickly out. Oh, Johnson just absorbed the hit, and then DeLuca had to finish it off. Collins was looking for back-to-back pops. I mean, you mentioned Tom Osborne. Just think about the success that they had. National titles in 94, 95, 97. They lost a total of 3 games from 1993 to 1997.
By Lateef.
Now from the 37-yard line to hand off Emmett Johnson as he navigates his way before being tripped up by DeLuca. He actually falls into Collins. First set of downs, now inside the 40 from the 37. Johnson, this time a good patient run, allowed his blocks to develop before exploding forward and gaining another 6 yards or so. Ever since that last call, it was Aldavion Collins going down the field who made the interference, but I believe maybe he was blocked into him as Lateef floats. Perfect touch. Emmett Johnson makes the grab. As Zane having himself a day on senior night, but Lateef now has his team back in business with Emmett Johnson up the middle. Gets it across the 35-yard line to the 34 at the right time. Johnson stays in there. Fresh set of downs from the 15. Johnson up the middle, spinning his way inside the 11.
Their family coming here to State College. He said he heard from basically everyone he's ever known after Penn State's win over Michigan State, and right after
high school as a head coach and an athletic director, and he's shown that here since he's taken over. that he can lead and he can motivate game if they win their last 2 games.
On a 2nd down and 7. Emmett Johnson for 2 yards. Matt Rule hired, stole Smith away, called Matt and asked for permission. Matt said, of course. That's a huge jump for this guy. He changed to the defensive side of the ball as Emmett Johnson makes the adjustment for the 1st down.
Believe in toughness. They both believe in being straightforward and honest and treating people the right way. And they've done that throughout.
Said it was a great reminder to him, a great lesson to his players that he tries to pass along, that karma is very real, as that is a career high 8th reception for Emmett Johnson. He's going to set up 3rd down and short.
No surprise, Emmett Johnson. And Johnson.
Owen and Herkett have made the game-changing turnovers in the final minute.
Johnson out to the 15. It's going to get about 6 yards. 2nd down and 4.
Nice start so far. This is just a duo play, double teams at the point of attack. Lindenmoyer, the tight end, got a little bit lost there, but on 1st down, especially against this Iowa defense, that's doing something.
They will ride this guy all day long. And Johnson, the 2nd effort, out close to the 30. Intringer brought him down. That's a 13-yard carry.
Even Phil Parker, the Iowa defensive coordinator, talked about how improved Johnson is. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes 6 or 7 Hawkeyes to take him down. That's actually been one of the issues for Iowa at times this year against good teams. They have not tackled that well.
Again, Johnson outside, and he's busted one. He's 40. He's 20. He's 10. He is touchdown.
Playing on the field, touchdown. That play is under review.
An absolutely incredible effort. Where's the ball when the right elbow comes down? I mean, if he's not in, it's by a centimeter or 2.
The forearm is down, the hand is not down.
He is not down until right there. Man, it might have been a centimeter short, Rich, but can we just give it to him? I mean, look at that effort right there. The South judge who called it was right there, so it's going to have to be indisputable.
After review, the runner's right elbow was down and the football was at the 6-inch line. It'll be 1st down and goal at the 6-inch line.
I didn't realize there was a 6-inch line.
Most important thing here is no false starts by the offensive line.
Johnson, give it to him. Hit. Not sure he got in. 2nd push. And let's see. Nebraska thinks they've scored. And they have. Emmett Johnson, the junior from Minneapolis.
Well, they stopped him initially. Carson Shire stopped him. He was short there, but he wasn't down. So watch the Nebraska offensive linemen come and start to push him like they're the Eagles doing the tush push. They're going to take another look at this one. Good luck finding a clear angle.
After review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld.
Way, and he's right there ready for it.
Johnson again. I was ready for him this time. Gain of maybe 2. Brian Allen made the stop.
DJ Lateef.
He's completing 70% of his passes coming in. Johnson starts right, then left, and then down.
That's how they teach it right there, almost like a basketball pick.
A lot of finesse in that block. Look Johnson again! Emmett Johnson! Knocked out of bounds at the 37. My goodness. Over 100 yards already. 25 yards on the carry.
Try to give himself a chance on 4th down or a shorter field goal.
Yeah, into the wind. Target line was 32-yard line. Emmett Johnson with a catch, breaks another tackle, spins down to the 21. That's a first down. Not many running backs have 45 catches this year.
And watch the block he gets downfield. Right there, the center. 51, Justin Evans got the key block on the guy in man-to-man coverage with Johnson.
Little tempo here from Nebraska. That went down to the 18, and we go down to Tiffany Blackman.
The place where Nebraska's improved the most is their special teams.
Johnson again, another hole and another nice game. First down to the 14-yard line. Jaden Montgomery, the stop for Iowa.
Man, there's a massive hole there. I want you to watch Spindler and Lindenmoyer. These are huge holes right now. Look at the hole there. Nice block again. The Huskers right now are getting it done from a blocking perspective.
Thank you, Tiff. Nebraska on the move after that recovery on the kickoff, and Johnson has to pick up a loose ball and make something out of it. 2nd and 8. Johnson straight ahead, and he runs into a white wall there. Jalen Watson.
Could be a big factor in this one. Might be limited now.
Emmett Johnson has been a large factor in this game, and he carries it out to the 31-yard line.
Xavier, it's definitely on Rashad Godfrey.
41-yard line.
Ooh!
Nice move, boy. Emmett Johnson. A little wiggle there, and that's all it took.
By Emmett Johnson.
2nd down and 3. Johnson again. Look at this guy. Emmett Johnson for a first down. Rashard Godfrey made the stop.
Once again, it's the blocking on the perimeter by Nebraska which stands out. That time it was Dane Key again getting a key block, and Nebraska out of the gun here. Not a big fan of that.
3rd down and short. Big fan of this though, I would guess, and that's Johnson who makes a couple of moves. Ethan Herkett made the stop, and this guy just keeps rolling.
Really well blocked again. Lindenmeyer, the tight end, did a terrific job on the edge. I am so impressed. Nebraska needs to keep bouncing these runs on the perimeter. Look at that number at the bottom. You don't see that against Iowa very often.
Once again into the fray. To the 18. So it's 3rd down and 4. Blitz comes. Johnson this time is going to be stuffed.
Ooh, and he's slow to get up.
Bryce Hawthorne, one of the first to get to him. Always has had great secondaries. On the ground this time. And Johnson, and this kind of dictates what Nebraska will do here. They do have the one timeout. Johnson still in the backfield. Latif's going to throw it. Clock might expire here, and Latif takes a big hit, and
it's a penalty.
So finally, Nebraska's offense gets to touch the football. Johnson, who had a mammoth first half, carries this one for 6.
Plenty of time.
Emmett Johnson, and he is strung out and hung up.
Eagles utilize Cooper DeJean. Man, is he impressive.
Barney in motion. Johnson trying to pick his way through the right side, and he stretches to the 29. This will be 3rd down and about 6. On 3rd down, Latif avoids one hit. Sidearm throw, and it's incomplete.
Boy, that really hurts you, because he could have run for the first down. Let's see if it was interference. Yeah, no, the ball was already past Emmett Johnson. Hey.
3rd and 5. And looking at 4 down territory, you expect
Yeah, they got to go.
Johnson is short of the first down. Lutmer with another tackle. Latif back in. And Johnson no longer is breaking the big runs like he did in the first half.
Another 3rd and short here for the Cornhuskers.
Johnson makes one man miss. And he's across midfield to the 48.
His fancy footwork is so impressive. I mean, he had a lot of, watch him make these guys miss. Boop! I mean, what is that, the B button? I don't play video games anymore. You guys can let me know, but his jump cuts have been super impressive today for Johnson, who now has 200 yards rushing.
Latif again on 2nd down. Sheds one rusher, fires, and Johnson has the catch. And he's short of the first down to the 39-yard line.
The issue with a gun run here is usually it's inside zone away from the offset back.
Johnson tiptoes through tacklers and then gets bulldogged down to the 33.
Boy, is he good.
Midfield and scored after that. 3rd down 4. Good push. Hubert, the first tackler. It's right at the sticks. Johnson with the carry. Looks like he has it.
Run, throw.
He made 8 starts a couple years ago. Johnson gets it. Dances to the goal line. Just short.
All eyes are on the new quarterback, which makes it a perfect time to give the ball to Johnson. You can just see by the way he moves. Gets awfully close there.
Enter the neutral zone, kind of flinches when the other player from Michigan is in the neutral zone. The distance is what caused it to be a false start, though.
Well, now it's a false sack.
Here for Nebraska's wobbly a bit right now, and they needed a first down.
No doubt.
And they lose 5 on a tough call. You know, Gene and I disagree a little bit. He's got the status. Go.
Going deep. Got a man. Touchdown, Nebraska. Ja'Cory Barney for the score.
Staff.
Yeah.
He's got to change his haircut, though.
A little bit. First down at the 49. And got away from the first man, but not the second.
Trying to get into his head, though. We don't have this kind of time. I mean, this is more what he was doing as a freshman. Trying to make too much out of a play like this. They cannot hold up the pass rush.
3 receivers to the top of your screen. 4-man rush. Raiola gets away from some pressure. Now he's going to load it pretty soon and let it fly. There it comes. Jump ball in the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Nebraska. Ja'Cory Barney.
That are in the game on the edge right now. They're playing 4 different guys.
Lindenmeyer, the tight end, in motion. Raiola in trouble again. He goes down again. That's sack number 5.
5 sacks, and that's really been the story for Dylan Raiola in non-conference games. 7 games. Dylan has only been sacked 5 times.
And that forces 3rd down at 16 again. 4-man rush. Raiola loads and comes short across the middle and incomplete. And they're looking for a flag as Zaire Hill was draped all over Emmett Johnson, but no penalty mark.
So sometimes as a pass rusher, you can help coverage by forcing a back to chip on you before you go out. That means you only have 4 receivers out there. Actually only 3 because there were chip on both sides. Lindenmeyer and the running back both had to chip. So no one's really open in the secondary. That's what that pass rush has accomplished. Tilts the offense where they have to come and chip. He is a difference maker.
And denied Dennis Sutton at Penn State, sort of the same. He has an overthrow, had a man open.
And I can tell you, Raiola that time, excuse me, can feel those edge rushers. This time it was a guy, or is it Barham inside? It could be any of those guys.
Snap. Dillon has time this time. Does come back short, though, and Johnson made the catch and got the first down, but stumbled and picked up just 5. And they're wasting valuable seconds Raiola. And he throws a strike. It's not going to be a first down, but it's 4th and 1. Raiola sidearms it. What a throw and what a catch.
2 fouls, both on the defense. Offside, number 1, that penalty is declined. Personal foul targeting, number 6, defense. That play is under further review. The result of the play is a first down.
The basis.
It speaks to the unselfishness of those guys as well.
That one looked like it might have been hit. Maybe the arm of Raiola on the outside. And all sorts of athleticism and freakish ability. But Raiola keeps the drive alive. Taking down towards about 3 minutes remaining. There's the tight end, Lindenmeyer. This time he's got a legitimate gain and deep into USC territory all the way down to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, watch what he does to full Gentry right here. He's going to come back and fake like he's throwing it out in the flat. That gets Gentry to bite and opens up a hole behind him for Lindenmeyer.
A team that believed they were going to win every week, and that's what he's trying to build up in Southern Cal. 3rd down and 10. Raiola flings towards the end zone, incomplete, but a flag. Offense, and now a chance for Dylan Raiola to take advantage and extend the lead. On 1st down, play action. Raiola had time. Time ran out. Raiola lost the ball. USC looked like they got there first. Anthony Lucas got to him, forced it out, and the Trojans believe they have it.
Lucas, he's going to be the guy that's going to get there and knock the ball out. Delayed blitz when the back blocked. Forces him up in the pocket, and then Lucas from behind knocks the ball out. And then just the awkward fall field goal attempt, so they burn the 2nd time out.
Fake it to Johnson, back the other way, and it is a big loss.
Fitzgerald is going to come with him, and then he's going to just pick him up on the screen. This guy will make you pay too if you're out of position.
Latif lets it fly. It is incomplete.
Area of USC.
Play action for Latif. He'll step up. He can run it as he'll dive forward across the 15-yard line. They'll mark him down to the 18.
Nebraska.
2nd down and 4. Latif, good protection. Taking a lot of time again. Latif will just throw it away. Barney in motion. Here comes Dennis Sutton. Latif, chase, throws, and he's got it. Put it in the bucket for Barney on a 1st down.
Well, they did a beautiful job chipping on Denai Sutton. Watch the chip here as Sutton is going to rush. I think it's Emmett Johnson that's going to help with the chip. Excellent job to slow him down.
No. Latif steps up. Latif goes down. And they'll need something of a spark here on 3rd down and 6. It's Latif on the move. Looking down the field. Gets to the edge. It's a 1st down run for Latif. You asked him about his desires to potentially be a head coach, and he said he had almost given up on the idea that he would be a head coach again, certainly at this level. And that's a great throw. Latif hits Barney in stride. It goes to the 30-yard line. Here's at Beaver Stadium, showing off that toughness down the stretch.
Well, they're coming after him here, too. This is their prowler package.
Latif got away. Latif out of bounds.
Pass rushers. And this is what they've done the last couple of weeks. They're going to come after the quarterback, play man-to-man. And that was Darius Dixon, the cornerback.
4th and goal.
Zero coverage look again.
Here they come. Latif has to get rid of it towards the end zone, way too high.
Emmett Johnson has caught 44 balls this year.
And I think we're going to see a lot of that today. Matt Rule said we have to kill them with relentless completions. A lot of those will be to 21.
That's not a completion. It was deflected.
Chuck.
Latif, moving pocket, fires to the sideline, and it's just off the hands of a diving Dane Key.
Kind of got handled at times up front.
Johnson's back in. 2nd and 7. Play action. Latif running for his life again, and he flips it out of bounds.
Small town Northwest Iowa guy, just like DeJean.
Blitz comes, 3rd and 7. Latif's throw on target, but short of the first down. 2nd down. Latif hit as he throws to the sideline. Flags are down.
Getting so close to top 5 victories. You talk to some Iowa people, they think it is one of the better teams they've had over the last decade.
Latif taking a deep shot.
This is strictly football. This has zero to do with how tall you are, how much you weigh. This has nothing to do with the combine. It's everything to do with just the tape. How fast. This is literally just the tape.